Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Hope your day and your week have been going very well so far. Got a new day, which of course means a new MLB Player Prop video to share with you guys. But first, as always, people, please make sure to go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and drop a comment down below. It helps the channel grow, and it really does mean a ton to us. With a new day comes some new opportunities to go ahead and make some money. I have 3 MLB player props to go ahead and share with you guys in today's MLB slate. But first, before we dive into today's picks, guys, a quick little recap of how we did last night. And if you couldn't tell by the thumbnail, we did pretty well last night. Little by little, we are chipping away at our poor start to the season. A very solid 301 performance last night. The only player probably missed was Christian Walker under 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. But Aaron Judge, TJ Friedl, and Tyler O'Neill all came through for us and cashed their bets. Look at the overall numbers now this year. We are still in the negative by a pretty good margin here when it comes to the units, but our record now 27-29. We're getting closer and closer to 500. We've got a lot of work still to do to get back to breaking even and getting in the profitable stage. Obviously, the reason why it's taking so much longer is that we don't put a full unit down yet. We might be changing that soon. Right now, we're doing like 3/4 of a unit or half a unit. We started the season doing full units, which is why we lost so much in the beginning. But we are little by little chipping away at that deficit, and before you know it, we're gonna break even. So really solid night last night. We got another great day today. 3 solid player props with a lot of great data coming your way right now. All right, guys, jumping right into the outliers screen. Our first player prop in today's slate is actually a repeat player prop from yesterday's slate. Reds Marlins 1:10 p.m. first pitch. We got TJ Friedl of the Cincinnati Reds over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. The exact same prop we played last night. We are replaying it again tonight, -110 over on BetMGM. The data is too good to go ahead and pass up for another time. 8 of his last 10 games, he's cashed the over, averaging 2.6 hits, runs, RBIs per game over his last 10 games. Again, including last night where he had 2 hits and 1 RBI for us in the Reds' loss to Miami. Now, overall this year, pretty good numbers. A 64% hit rate on the over. 14 out of 22 games, he's cashed the over, averaging 2.27 hits, runs, RBIs per game this season. And from a head-to-head perspective, pretty solid numbers. 5 of his last 6 matchups with the Miami Marlins dating back to last year, he's cashed the over. That is, of course, an 83% hit rate, averaging 3.67 hits, runs, RBIs per game against Miami across those last 6 matchups. Looking down below, the insights provided by Outlier. By the way, guys, if you like what you see on the screen here, all the data, all the information provided in this video is brought to you guys by Outlier, the sponsor of today's video. Link down below in the description, 7-day free trial to check out Outlier for yourself and have access to all of this information, all of this data right at your fingertips. You want to make money sports betting, specifically with MLB player props, you got to have the right sports betting tool by your side, and Outlier is the best that money can buy. And again, you use the link down below in the description, you're going to get a 7-day free trial to go ahead and play around with it for yourself. So special thank you to Outlier for sponsoring today's video. The insights they provide for this player prop: TJ Friedl has exceeded 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs in 4 of his last 5 games on the road, averaging 3.2 hits, runs, RBIs per game over his last 5 road games. Now, so far this year, the numbers and the matchup look pretty good here. TJ Friedl, 300 batting average this year versus right-handed pitchers, the same batting average. His WRC plus does drop narrowly there from 107.2 to 103.7, but still a pretty solid number overall. And the matchup here versus Sandy Alcantara, 7.27 ERA, 219 batting average allowed versus left-handed batters. Those numbers definitely increase, which is really good for us, really bad for Sandy Alcantara. 12.38 ERA, 267 batting average allowed, 2.2 home runs per 9, and a 361 WOBA. In translation, really solid matchup here and a really solid player prop for -110 odds. Definitely not passing this one up. All right, guys, our second player prop in today's slate comes from the Mariners-Red Sox game, 6:45 p.m. first pitch. I love this player prop, despite the fact the data is not great. Wilyer Abreu of the Boston Red Sox over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs, and it's juiced for a reason because everyone else is catching on here. -150 over on DraftKings. Very high odds, but man, the value is still solid here. Now look, he had a really strong start to the season. Look at the overall numbers, 46% hit rate on the year, 11 out of 24 games. He's cashed the over, averaging 2.21 hits, runs, RBIs per game this year. He had a really strong start. He cashed this in 8 of his first 10 games, looked like the MVP frontrunner the first 10 games of the year, and then since then, he has massively cooled off. He's cashed the over in just 3 of his last 14 games, so really, really cold run here for Wilyer Abreu in terms of this player prop. However, I still like the data in terms of the matchup here. Now, from a head-to-head standpoint, 3 of his last 6 games against Seattle, he's cashed the over, averaging 2.17 hits, runs, RBIs per game across the last 6 matchups with Seattle. And they played last night, last night, got my dates right. Last night they played, he did cash the over. He had 3 hits and 1 run in the 8-3 victory for Boston yesterday. So he did cash the over just yesterday. Good start to the series, and honestly, the numbers are through the roof phenomenal. Wilyer Abreu, 274 batting average overall this year with a 149.5 WRC plus. Versus right-handed pitchers, though, we see a nice steady increase, 297 batting average and a 168.3 WRC plus. He's hitting the ball very, very well off of right-handed pitchers this season. And then looking at the matchup here with Emerson Hancock of the Seattle Mariners, he's not having, now very small sample size, we have to take it with a grain of salt, but not having the best start to the year. 12.71 ERA, 4.62 batting average allowed, and a 5.39 WOBA. Surprisingly, it gets worse in a couple of these categories. 500 batting average allowed, 5.43 WOBA versus left-handed batters, 9 ERA and 3 home runs per 9. They are technically decreases, but still really, really, really bad numbers for him. Really, 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 really good numbers for us. Now, again, take it with a grain of salt. It's a very small sample size. He's only faced 15 left-handed batters this year, but he's been shelled in those 15 batters faced. So pretty good numbers for us here. Look at Wilyer Abreu. Now, Hancock this year, 51.8% of his pitches have been sinkers. He crushes the sinker, 469 WOBA, which is an elite number, only a 12.5% strikeout rate. And even his second most utilized pitch, the changeup, 400 WOBA, 23.5% strikeout rate. So really good numbers there. Overall, a 383 WOBA for Wilyer Abreu, so again, having a solid year hitting overall, but it's a really good matchup in almost all categories. So I think for minus 150, you understand why it's so juiced, despite the fact that the recent run has not been very good, in terms of this line, I should say. We've got one more player prop to go ahead and share with you guys in today's video, but if you are still watching, comment 7, lucky number 7, down below. As always, guys, we appreciate those who watch through each and every single video here on the channel. It really does mean the world to us, and we appreciate those who don't just go right for the picks. No judgment, a little judgment, I should say. If you just jump to the picks, I get it. You just want to get the picks. But I'm telling you guys, listen to all the analysis because it makes the world the difference of whether or not you want to tail or want to fade. So comment 7 down below. Our third and final player prop in today's slate comes from the Orioles-Nationals game, 6:45 p.m. first pitch. We got Ryan Mountcastle of the Baltimore Orioles under 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs, minus 105 over on BetMGM. So pretty good value there. Unlike the last player prop, the data is pretty good across the board. 7 of his last 10 games, he's cashed the over. The under, not the over. Let me just reiterate here. It's the under 1.5 hits, runs, RBI. So he's cashed the under, not to confuse anybody. He's cashed the under in 7 of his last 10 games, averaging 1.2 hits, runs, RBIs per game over his last 10 games. So far this season, a 60% hit rate on the under for Ryan Mountcastle. 12 out of 20 games, averaging 1.6 hits, runs, RBIs per game. He's cashed it in 4 consecutive games as well. And then from a head-to-head perspective here, you see 3 of his last 5 matchups against Washington dating back to last season. He's cashed the under. That is a 60% hit rate, averaging 1.4 hits, runs, RBIs per game against the Nationals dating back to last year. They did play yesterday, and he had 0 hits, 0 runs, and 0 RBIs yesterday against the Nationals. And look at the matchup down below versus Trevor Williams. It's a really good matchup on paper here. He's only faced off with him 2 times since 2018, so a small sample size. But in both those plate appearances, he failed to get anything. No hits, no runs, no RBIs here. A 50% strikeout rate. So far this year, he's batting .242 with an 82.3 WRC plus. However, versus right-handed pitchers, you do see a nice little decrease there in his numbers. .224 batting average, 74.5 WRC plus. So the numbers definitely get better for us. Not very good for Ryan Mountcastle. And then Trevor Williams, who's having a kind of a rough year. 5.95 ERA, 3.25 batting average allowed, 3.69 WOBA. The versus right-handed batters, and it's small sample size, yes, but 38 batters faced is a decent enough sample size at this point in the year. Versus right-handed batters, a 3.27 ERA, 1.67 batting average allowed, and a 1.74 WOBA. So really bad numbers overall, but versus right-handed batters, really, really good numbers. So seems like to be a pretty good matchup across the board here for Ryan Mountcastle. Again, he's cashing it majority of the time this year. Solid head-to-head data. He's not hitting the ball very well off of right-handed pitchers, and Trevor Williams is pitching the ball very well versus right-handed batters. So it's just kind of a perfect storm for what I think is going to be a really solid player prop. And for minus 105 odds, really strong value. All right, guys, that is it for me today. Thank you very much, as always, for watching. One more time, please make sure to go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and drop a comment down below. We'll be back tomorrow with another MLB Player Prop video. Until then, I hope you're all winners. Enjoy your Wednesday. Let's go ahead and make some money.